If you're a battery and you've got like 5% left and you're trying to function at a very high level, good luck. If you're fully charged, you've got so much more capacity to do the things that you want to do in your life. I mean, it's pretty fucking simple. Discipline is your friend. Discipline is all of our friends. Discipline is not the fucking enemy. Discipline is, to me, discipline's very sexy. It's really easy to be flimsy. It's not easy to be disciplined. The fear of failing or facing rejection is your fucking cue. Like, go that way. Go towards it. Earn your confidence, earn your trust, do hard shit, test yourself. You're worth it. This is The Roxanne Show. Get ready. It's time to rise. Hey, welcome back to The Roxanne Show. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you a handful or more of transformative principles that I swear by, that I believe if you subscribe to them in your own life, if you're not already, they will substantially not only give you extraordinary results out here in your life, but more importantly, what they will do for you in your inner world. You will live with more mastery. You will certainly be on the path of self-actualization and just fucking feel great kicking ass in life. So let's drop in. The first one is earn your confidence. You can do hard things and you can do them powerfully. Test yourself. So if you are a Roxanne Show veteran or Black Belt BD Radio, my OG listeners, then you know I'm always talking about the importance of doing hard things. One of my quotes, there's no handouts to self-trust. You have to be willing to put yourself into the arena in every domain of your life. So wherever there's a healthy challenge in front of you. When I say healthy, I mean, this is a challenge that's going to help you grow. This is not you making things fucking harder on yourself, right? This is a challenge in your business, your relationships, your health, finances, you know, all these main pillars of life or main domains of life. When you move towards a challenge that's making you nervous, that's testing you, that you know, you may not have a solution to, where there's a lot of uncertainty, but you know, you can feel inside that this is something that you need and want to do, because on the other end of it is something that you really want to accomplish. You got to fucking go in. You have to go in. You have to be willing to bet on yourself. You have to trust that not only can you move through that challenge, but you're worthy of moving through that challenge, right? This is where we build real self-confidence. This is how we build real self-trust. Again, there's no handouts to that shit. Self-confidence is an action, right? It's a verb. It's not a destination. And the only way to live with more self-confidence and to earn more of your trust is to do the fucking work. And it's usually, almost always, going to be challenging work, difficult work. So principle number one is earn your confidence, earn your trust, do hard shit, test yourself. You're worth it. Number two, no matter what you've been taught to believe, you don't have to settle for less than what you truly desire in any domain of your life. I want to put emphasis on no matter what you've been taught to believe. Most all of us, I'd like to say all of us. I don't want to speak in absolutes because I'm not in everyone's life. I'll say most all of us have been taught to believe in some or maybe many areas of our life that we need to be realistic. We need to, kind of manage our big visions to be more practical. And I am a practical woman in a lot of different ways and areas of my life. However, when it comes to knowing what I truly want to experience in my life, I don't give a fuck if it doesn't seem realistic or practical to anybody outside myself. It doesn't matter. All that matters is, does it feel real for me? And am I willing to show up and put the work in to see it come into form? That's what matters. Don't train yourself to subscribe to these beliefs that will have you limiting yourself from what you truly want. There are too many people in life that are fucking settling for less. And you know what? Those people end up on the regret. Like there's Tom Gilovich, an incredible psychologist, did a study. I can't remember how many years ago, but in this study, the number one regret of people who are at the end of life were people who didn't live the life that they truly wanted to live. Okay. And when you were settling for less than, you are likely landing yourself on that list, right? Because you're not believing that it's possible for you to actually have the very thing that you want. And that's in any domain of your life. So many people will stay in relationships and jobs and homes and, situations where they don't truly feel fulfilled. And a lot of that is going to come down to self-worth as well. But that's likely something that you encountered, in your younger years of life too, meaning the discrepancy of self-worth probably came on at some point in your earliest years of life, but it could have been later too. The point here and this principle that I really, really believe is so important to live by is that you don't have to be that person. You don't have to be that person who settles. You do have to do the work to increase your self-worth if there's, an issue there, if you don't feel that worthiness. And I have several episodes where I talk about that. So have fun going through the library of this podcast. But I want my words right here to really impact you. Maybe this is exactly what you fucking needed to hear right now in this moment, that you actually don't have to settle. However, you do need to do the work, the inner work, as well as the outer work, to make sure that you're not settling and to move yourself towards whatever it is that you really want to experience in your life. And that might mean that you have to sacrifice some things, or you have to make yourself really uncomfortable. You have to do some hard shit. You have to say goodbye to X to move into Y, right? Even though you don't know for sure how to make Y come into your life yet, but you do know for sure that X isn't working for you, right? Fill in the blank. It's your duty to have the fucking discipline and the confidence to say, even if I don't know the solution yet, I don't have the answer yet, I'm okay. I'm going to say goodbye to X over here. And that's going to put me on the path to come into the experience with Y. Even if I don't know that path yet and I don't know the answer yet, it takes a lot of guts. And I speak from experience. This has been my whole fucking life. And I also know it to be true in the women that I coach, right? It feels very risky. It's like, oh, I don't know how to swim in the deep end. I want to hold on to the edge. Sure. But if you don't fucking let go, it's like one of my favorite quotes that I might chop up a little bit, but you can't make a home run with your foot on first base. You have to be willing to get off and run and make it. And yeah, there's a chance on the way to fucking trying to go for that home run that you might get striked out. And in this case, it would be maybe, there's going to be a lot of challenges that you're going to have to face. In my terminology, it's like taking fucking life punches. You're going to be put on your knees, on that path to go towards the thing that you actually want to experience. But here's a question that I love to keep into your mind if you are someone in this moment. How much effort are you worth? How much? Like, okay, you took some punches. We all fucking do. And then what? You going to stay down? Or are you going to love yourself enough to get back up and keep going towards that thing that you feel in your heart is what you truly want to experience in this life? You have the answer to that question. And I prefer you to put that question into action by sticking to this principle. Don't fucking settle. Number 3. Prioritize behaviors that nourish your mind, body, and spirit with vitality. They will pay you for the rest of your life. Vitality is always a big part of the conversation with me, as many of you probably already know. Why? Kind of self-explanatory, but I'm going to break this down a little bit. Listen, if you're a battery and you've got like 5% less or left, like it's your phone, right? Oh shit, 5% left. And you're trying to function at a very high level on 5% battery. Good luck. You know, if you're fully charged, you've got so much more capacity to do the things that you want to do in your life. I mean, it's pretty fucking simple. I know it's not simple to be consistent with the behaviors, especially if they're newer to you, that actually help to keep your battery charged. And when I say battery, it's a full body experience. It's your mind, it's your spirit, your energy, your physicality. So your psychology, your biology, and your physicality, your physiology, right? We have to be feeding, nourishing all these parts of ourself to keep the battery strong. It can be difficult in the initial, but once you get it dialed in, once it becomes consistent, once it becomes part of who you fucking are, it pays you for the rest of your life. You know, the freedom that I have being an individual who, loves to take care of myself. I'm an athlete. I love it. Lucky fucking me. However, there are days where, maybe I'm tired and I don't feel like putting in the work. In comparison to my normal eye of the tiger attitude, but I know that even 10 minutes of fucking jump rope or just, whatever will pay me off. It will, just keep me where I need and want to be, will keep the battery charged. And that's really important to me because you can't, it's, to sit here and want some luscious life, some big life where you're achieving incredible, extraordinary experiences, but yet your behaviors are not conducive to living with vitality. That's really a painful place to be because you're never going to get there. I mean, don't take my word for it. Maybe you can do both. And if you can do that, I mean, great. But I'll say this, even if you're someone who can crush it in a lot of different areas on minimal battery, meaning your health, your habits are, I'm going to tell you right now that you would crush it on a whole nother fucking level, like on a superhero level, if those behaviors would be to nourish your mind, body, your physicality, like we're healthy and took care of you. So it's really important. I mean, to me, it's the foundational piece here. The more vitality, and the reason why I choose vitality, and that is such a word woven into every conversation, my brand, versus health. Health is important, but to me, health is like baseline. I feel well and I'm not sick. I don't have disease. We're all right. Vitality is different. Vitality is where you're fucking potent. Vitality is where your creativity, your intuition, like you can feel things on a much higher level, right? Vitality is where you're strong, your strength, you're more resilient. So I want you to live with more vitality and not just baseline health. I mean, start where you are and work your way up. But keep that in mind that, this principle, the more that you nourish your mind, your body, your spirit, your energy with behaviors that are conducive to high levels of vitality, the further you'll go in life in ways that you want to go. And here's the best part. You'll just feel better on the way there, right? You don't have to fucking suffer on the way to creating the life that you want to create. So prioritize those behaviors. Number 4, make time for your mind to wander, reflect, and contemplate every single day. The best ideas and realizations come from those moments. I'm going to share a little bit of my morning ritual. This is me. I know that your life is different. It could be very, very different, but I want to pull this on this principle by just sharing a little bit of my morning ritual and why this right here, this piece is so important. I wake up early on my own, no alarm. It's just my circadian rhythm is dialed in that way. And when you wake up, brain waves, you go from theta to alpha, right? So theta is actually where we can tap into the subconscious, right? It's like the state of hypnotism. Alpha is just where you're very calm. It's a really yummy brainwave, really excellent for meditation as well. So beta is like me right now. I might even be in gamma, which is like flow state, because I feel fucking great in here. To go from theta to beta, that's not really fun. If you have to, fine. I mean, you'll still hit alpha, but very minimally. Alpha brainwaves are so yummy to sit with yourself, like I said, to meditate, allow your mind to wander. For me, this is my favorite time of day to do this. It also happens in the reverse at the end of day, right? You go from alpha to theta. I promise this is not going to be a crazy neurobiology lesson right here. But the reason why I want to give you a bit of my life is, again, to pull on this thread here from this principle that some of the best ideas, my favorite ideas that I share here on the podcast, that I write about, important realizations from my own journey, my own life, come in that space in the morning for me, where it's just quiet and I sit and I reflect, I'll contemplate, I read, I'll kind of zone out. I let my mind wander, right? That's a lot of people do not do this at this point. And this guy right here is a lot of the blame. You're not totally the bad guy, because look, I mean, what would I be doing right now without this? I can't memorize all these principles in the way that I want to share them with you. However, we have to be, mindful about who's the boss here, right? The phone or you. And this guy right here, if you're not careful, will make sure to steal that time from you, that sacred, wandering, daydreaming, contemplation time that will not only just allow you to get closer to yourself, but again, download ideas. You don't have to be an artist. I'm an artist. This is where I extract, like I said, in fact, what I'm reading you right now, this writing came to me in that moment, in my morning ritual, in that brainwave state, allowing myself to contemplate on ideas, right? So it doesn't have to be the morning for you. I just wanted to share that bit because it really is, if you can, it's a really kind of makes it easier because you're already in somewhat of a dreamy state, right? To go from, if it's middle of the day and you've been working and then you're trying to daydream, unless you're bored or something, and may make it easier. It could just be a little bit harder, but it is not hard and impossible either. In fact, one of the other things that I do all the time is throughout the day, I take breaks to walk, right? So I'm writing my book, coaching, whatever it is that I'm doing work-wise, I make sure that several times throughout the day, and this is my business, my life, I'm able to do this. But if you can get up and take a walk from your job as well and allow your brain, don't be staring at your phone, look at the sky, preferably get that yummy sunlight. It's going to do so many great things for you. But you may likely also be surprised at, what you download, like certain ideas. You might all of a sudden discover a solution to a challenge that you didn't have a solution for, but you've wanted. But in that state, in that moment where you're allowing yourself to just wander, you were able to extract it. So essentially it's like quieting the mind, but it's not no thought. You're just quieting the noise out here and turning up the volume of whatever thoughts and, ideas and anything that you want to feel into more. Just allow it to happen. It's not efforted, right? So make time every day, even if it's 5 minutes, but hopefully more, to wander, to contemplate, to reflect. End of night or end of day is such a great time to do this too. Hopefully infuse some gratitude in there, because that's a really fucking powerful way to end your day and move into your dream state, right? So whatever is going to work for you, consistency is always the magic. Just make some time for it. Next one. Refining and enforcing your boundaries is necessary for your well-being and life performance. This includes boundaries with yourself. I'll start at the end. Boundaries with yourself. What does that mean? If health, vitality is a core value of yours, it matters to you, you like to get up in the morning or want to get up in the morning and get your training done, your workout done before you start your fully stacked day, well, then you're going to have a boundary on when you go to sleep at night. You're not going to stay awake and binge on Netflix. You're not going to, you're not going to be fucking around, basically. You're going to put that boundary in place to make sure that your next morning is protected because that matters to you. So that's just one example. And you can imagine in all the other areas where you need to put that boundary in place to make the difference for you. It's there's so many different territories that you can go in: food, relationships, money, all of it, right? But in addition, enforcing boundaries with others. And there's various kinds of boundaries, different domains of boundaries. And I'm not going to tease all those out. I've done episodes on boundaries. I'll continue to do more. But just to pull on this principle here and really highlight the big part about it is that, do you even know your boundaries? Because that's a really important question. And a lot of people actually don't. They actually haven't taken the time to really just sit with themselves and go, what's a fucking hard no for me? What do I need to do to keep myself in my optimal state of well-being? Because that's what boundaries essentially do. They keep you safe and you in a great place. And if it's, a boundary with another individual, it keeps them at a distance where, they're safe too, where things are cool. Or maybe not. Maybe it's someone that you don't have good vibes with, and that's a whole nother story and different kind of boundary. Then it doesn't fucking matter. Just stay away, right? But the point is that what are your fucking hard no's? You have to know that. Again, with the external, but also with yourself. For the goal right here, to keep you operating in your life from your optimal state of well-being. Why? Because you fucking matter. So boundaries are a really important piece to self-love. A really important piece to self-respect. Self-respect lives within self-love. So you got to get clear on your boundaries. Take some time and journal it out. Just pick 5, to start with. If you don't know, you want to be able to say, if somebody, like, what are some boundaries with in your friendships? You want to be able to answer that in your romantic partnership, in, your business, whatever, with your personal self. I certainly have boundaries around, my lifestyle in terms of how I take care of myself, like the example, I mean, honestly, at this point for me, I don't even need a boundary. I just, or here, I'll give you one actually. I don't really talk to people with the exception of maybe 2 people, after 7:00. On a weekend, it might be different. I'm watching UFC fights. Okay. But weekdays, no. Why? Because my brain is already starting to shut down and I want to keep in that shutdown mode because that's going to put me into yummy sleep, which then helps me wake up feeling really good and kick ass the next day. So, I mean, yes, there are exceptions, of course. It's, not every night, but for the most part, it's pretty much that fucking way. So now it's at a point where people in my life, like, don't even really call me after that point, unless it's important, because they already know. Roxanne, she's in bed, 8:00. Peace. Next one of my favorites. Discipline is your faithful ally that builds your desired world if you employ it with consistency. Discipline is your friend. Discipline is all of our friends. Discipline is not the fucking enemy. To me, discipline's very sexy. I meet an individual who has discipline, it tells me a lot about the person. It tells me about how they value themselves. And, that's attractive. It's really easy to be flimsy. It's not easy to be disciplined. So that's very attractive quality to me, at least, right? You know, Jocko Willink said it the best. Discipline is freedom. And it really is. You don't have a backdoor escape. You're not at 99%. 99% will fuck you up. 100% frees your mind. There's no option. It's do or don't do, right? And it's incredible what that 1% will do and how taxing that can be. Discipline gives you clarity. It makes you directional. It helps you with your focus. The list goes on and on. It will help you build out what it is that you want for your life if you put it into action with consistency. You know, it's not, oh, I had a really great 2 weeks and then okay. And then what? You just, you know, even if that is your story, they get back in the fucking game, you know, and put the discipline back in because life will happen. And I get that. I say that with empathy. I know shit can happen, but I'm telling you right now, discipline is usually the fucking answer. That it's the solution to get you into experiences that you really want to have in your life, right? It advances you. So it is not the enemy. It is your friend. Put that shit into place. Your life will change for the better with long-standing results. Next one, be brave. Fear of failing or rejection is an indicator to move in that exact direction. Let me say that again. The fear of failing or facing rejection is your fucking cue. Like, go that way. Go towards it. I know it's so counterintuitive, and I know that it is not easy. I know from living thus far into 4 decades of life, okay? Meaning my whole fucking life has been that. Go towards that risk. There's so many reasons why this is so important. Not just for what can happen out here in your external life, but especially what happens in here, in your internal world. It's a statement to yourself. It's a statement that says, I'm going to give you a real example. I'm getting ready to do a TEDx talk. Now listen, I'm a fucking talker. I'm a communicator. Obviously, this is a form of public speaking. I'm not necessarily a get on stage, everybody look at me kind of fucking girl. And it's not because I care about what you think necessarily. It's just more about, I don't know, I'm not driven that way. You know, I'm fucking underground and always have been. However, I've got some messages to share, as you already know, right? You're here, you're watching, you're listening. And maybe your whole life has already changed from some of the episodes. And fuck, that makes my heart swell just thinking about it because I know, because I connect with a lot of you. So that being said, I know that that stage is a really important stage to share the message. And when the opportunity came for me to move in that direction, you know, I felt myself feeling, oh, fuck, like really scared, nervous, shit, but also expanded. This is very important, right? Because when you feel constricted, that's your cue. That's a fuck no to me. You do what you want, but it's really interesting because excitement and fear physiologically can feel the same, right? Or nervousness and excitement. You can feel nervous, but still feel expanded. But if you feel nervous and you feel closed, that's a fear. That's like a threat. That's a no. So there's a little side added tip in there. But with this situation with the TEDx talk that is underway, you know, I was expanded, but I was certainly nervous, like, oh shit. And then I thought, like, am I going to fucking do this? Am I really going to do this? And I thought to myself, the only reason why you wouldn't do it is because you're afraid. So let me say that again. I asked myself, are you really going to do this? And I thought to myself, Roxanne, the only reason why you wouldn't do that talk is because you're afraid. And then my fucking Rocky Balboa mind is like, I'm not backing down from the fight. I can't. I literally, if I fall face forward on stage, I could live with that. I can't live with knowing, like looking back and going, you back down from the fight. No way. Especially when there's a deep purpose behind it. And there is. So I can't tell you when, but it is underway. The point back to the principle is move towards that. Move towards that direction. Do what you got to do to prepare in every aspect of preparing for whatever that is, but don't see that as a don't come this way. It's not. It's literally the green light. It's go that way. And again, even if you fail, even if you got to take some fucking punches, even if it doesn't give you the result that you imagined it would, here's another nugget of wisdom coming in that I say often, but perfect position for it again is it's not about the thing that we're going for. Yes, we want the thing. Yes, the thing matters to us. What it's really about is who we have to become on the way to the thing. You know, who do I have to become? Like already I just said, fuck you, fear. And as I move towards this talk, that's a stripe on my fucking belt. Right? That's a stripe of courage, of self-respect, of trust, of self-love on my belt, right? Of my mastery belt. And the value of that is so priceless. Priceless. So see it that way if you're invited to, right? It's never a fucking prescription, you know, it's an invitation for you to just pivot. If you're someone right now, maybe there's something happening in your life and you're like, I don't want to put myself out there. I'm afraid if I'm going to get rejected. I'm afraid if I fail. Fucking go. But inside you feel expanded because you really want to go that way. You want to try. You want to know. Go. You know what will hurt more than anything? The not going for it. And the unanswered eternal question, let me say that again, the eternal unanswered question, what would have happened if failure and rejection, those are answers. Those are fucking answers. And you know what? They're probably going to give you some valuable content for your inner world and your outer world. Oh, I get smarter. Oh, I got better. Oh, you know, whatever. I had to do that. I had to fail there to end up over here. And now I'm with, you know, the love of my life or the fucking, you know, whatever business, whatever, paint your story, your fairy tale come true, right? But the unanswered eternal question, that's some shit that personally I'm not subscribing to, and hopefully you won't either. Okay, this one is actually a perfect follow-up to the last one. Nothing is fixed. Let me say that again. Nothing is fixed. If you mess up or don't hit the mark, don't sit in guilt or shame. Don't become a victim of it. Learn from it and keep moving forward towards the target like a true champion. It's the saddest story, right? It's like some people try, they'll get a punch to the face, they'll miss the mark, they fail, they, you know, didn't get the result that they wanted, and then boom, that's a wrap. Like that's it. No. No, that can't be it. Again, I'm going to pull in my life hero, Rocky. Like, can you imagine if Rocky just didn't keep going? We would never have the Rocky that we have today. You know, I mean, look how many lives Rocky has impacted. Mine to this day, you know, but it's that story of, you know, just keep getting back up. And what happens oftentimes is, I'm going to use an example that's so fucking, I've heard it so many times. That's why it's the perfect one to use. When it comes to health habits, you know, nutrition and training, a lot of people like to talk to me about, you know, their stuff related to health, because, you know, this is my lifestyle, right? And what I've heard so many times is there's this enthusiastic, oh, I was killing it. I was doing really good. I was training. I was, or working out, and I was eating really well and I felt well. And then, something happens. And the minute they insert and then something happens, their whole fucking frequency just starts shutting down. And right there, it's like, because they're replaying the event, right? And I can feel the guilt and the shame coming in. I can feel it, literally. Everything's energy, right? We feel it. And then they end the story with basically it's like a fizzle out, like, it's just fucking like, and my thought is like, why? And I don't say why as if I understand human psychology and why this could be challenging, but where did we get this idea that that's it? Like, and then like, we get up every day to a new fucking day. It's a brand new start. You could just start again. You know what the mind fuck is? It's those emotions. It's this story that you're telling yourself. Oh, I fucked up. Oh, I was doing so good. Oh, like I blew it. Oh, well, now it doesn't matter. Let me just fucking, who cares? I'm not going to go. I didn't go for a week. So, and those scripts and the scripts and the stories, the programs, they're running our fucking life. So let's cut that. I mean, I know a lot of you are really dialed in, those who listen and watch the show, but maybe you're in that cycle right now. Maybe you're in that pattern. Maybe you were just doing excellent in that exact territory. And then something fucking happened. You got a Mack truck moment in life. You got sucker punched. You didn't see something coming. You had a human fucking moment. We all do. And then, the guilt and the shame because it threw you off, hit you so hard that you didn't get back up. Well, I want you to get back up. I want you to realize that you can get back up. And maybe you're going to feel defeated because you're not going to feel, maybe, you're just not going to be where you were, right? But here's the newsflash. We're never where we were. We're never where we were. Don't keep your glory days behind you. Always keep your glory days in front of you. That's how you stay intrinsically motivated. One of the ways, right? No matter how many great things I've accomplished in my life to this day, and I do say that with so much love and reverence for all of it, it's substantial. I'm like, cool, fuck, let's go. Like, I'm in great shape right now. What's fucking tomorrow like? I have a birthday coming up. Like, what's that next year going to feel like? Stronger, faster, like, it's all upstairs, right? Like the scripts and the narrative. So you don't need to be those feelings. You can feel the feelings, feel the moment of letdown, of fuck, of that sucked, of even guilt or shame, whatever your emotion is. We have these emotions for a reason. Don't become the emotion. Feel it. Don't become the emotion. How do you do that? Journal, meditation, journal. Keep that space between you. Observe the feelings, observe them, be the student of self, right? This allows you to be human, to feel the feelings, but not become the feeling. This is self-mastery at its finest, right? So, I gave you one example, one domain, but it could be another domain of life. It could be relationships. And I know matters of the heart are a lot harder to navigate through painful challenges, heartbreak, all that shit. I trust me, I know. And still you have a choice to get back up, to keep moving forward with optimism, to keep yourself open to receiving the experiences that you want to experience, and keeping that openness by having the behaviors, the mental frameworks, the narratives that are going to help position you on that path, right? So, so important. Nothing is fixed. Keep it fucking moving. All right. The final one, the grand finale that seals this all together. And really it's like, it's the foundational piece to everything that I just shared with you. Every creation starts from the inside out. Be it to see it. Every creation starts from the inside out. Be it to see it. It's actually a lot deeper than you have to kind of sit with that for a moment. I mean, on the surface, it's self-explanatory, but if you think about that very deeply, I mean, even the idea, this microphone, like this was an internal idea before it came out to become a microphone, right? Everything in our life starts in here and then comes out here. The inner world is shaping your outer world, right? My quote, famous to me anyways, but no, it's out there. And I know a lot of you have loved it, but the inner shapes the outer, right? Our internal world is shaping our external world. So whatever you want to experience in your life, whatever you want to see, you want to touch, you want to feel, you have to be the essence of that, an expression of that, connected to that somehow, some way, right? If it's more money, you can't have a poor mindset. You have to have a mindset of abundance, of opulence, of, just a sense of worthiness, and that, yeah, you're here to flourish and to prosper in that way, and whatever other way you want to flourish and prosper, right? But you have to have the mentality that your nervous system has to feel connected to that. So you walk around and that's your energy. And again, energy is everything. So when that is your frequency, when you're in alignment with the things, the visions, the goals that you want to experience in your life, you're in alignment with it in your narratives, your behaviors, your habits, your beliefs, your speech, the external and the internal, then you are, at whatever the perfect timing will be, you will come into that experience. It's just the laws of the universe. Can't fuck with the laws of the universe. It's my favorite part about them, right? I didn't write them, but I'm certainly a part of them, and so are you. And I absolutely subscribe to them. So the takeaway piece here that's really simple, make it your mantra if you want to, but be it to see it. Be it to see it. Be it to see it. That's what I got for you. What else? Nope, that's it. I would love to know how this episode impacted you. If it did, if it didn't, that's okay too. DM me, Roxy Look. If you do, you already know I'm really active there on Instagram. If this is YouTube, please subscribe. That so helps this channel grow. Promise to keep putting out more content that's going to support you and bring the incredible guests that I love bringing on, and continue supporting you as well. And yeah, comment below on YouTube. But I love continuing the conversation. I'd love to know if there was something specific about this episode that really hit your heart today in this moment, whenever it is that you're taking it in. If you haven't already subscribed to Apple, Spotify, wherever you take this in, please do. Please give this podcast a 5-star rating and review. It means the world to me and my team. We work our fucking ass off with love, to keep this show growing strong for you. So, and then lastly, if you are one of the incredible women in my community who wants to be in my exclusive community, Queendom, which is so fun, it's free. I'd love to have you. It's this really sacred space with the most incredible women there who get to show up as who they fucking truly are seen, heard, and felt, are all supported on their path of self-mastery. I'm in there. I do a live call once a month. It's my favorite call. It's a riot, truly. Like, you never know what's going to happen in those calls. It could be a dance party, certainly tarot and oracle cards. But yeah, it's a good time. So there's a link to that in the show notes or a description on YouTube. And lastly, you guys, keep this episode, replay it, take in whatever principles really resonated with you and put them into practice. Nothing happens without the action part. So I hope you loved it, and I will see you on the next one. Queen, this is your call to greatness. If you are ready, and I mean truly ready, to shift anything in your outer experience, your outer reality, your finances, your health, your relationship, anything career related, anything spiritual, any shift that you want to make that has to do with your reality has to first start with shifting who you are, your self-identity. My Future Self digital course is your supportive blueprint that helps you achieve this. The inner shapes the outer. So when you get crystal clear on your core beliefs, your core values, your core desires, your high heart goals, when you learn how to rewrite parts of your past that maybe don't feel so great and instead leverage those experiences to be fuel for you to expand and to grow, this is how you start to change the game behind the game of life, which all starts and ends with you. I've designed this course from my heart, soul, and experience to be a femininely fierce experience for you to uncover and connect with your most authentic self. And as a Future Self student, you get 3 months free membership access to Queendom. This is where we really get to connect. Queendom is such a rad, sacred, empowered space where every month you get a live Q&A call with me so we can connect and troubleshoot any area of your life that you would like, or just get some encouragement from me as well as the other queens in the community. This is a really sacred space, and I will see you in Queendom.